Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra with me, Ahmad Nawaz. A lot to discuss in tonight's show. We're going to be starting off with the PSL. Had some exciting packed encounters yesterday. We had two fantastic games at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. First of all, it was Islamabad United that managed to beat Lahore Qalandars by 28 runs. Let's face the fact that Lahore Qalandars did make a mess of it again. And there's been a lot of chatter about Lahore Qalandars that the only danger that they have is from their own selves, not by the other opposition. So I think that's a bit of a fun fact that needs to be talked about as well. But really, Islamabad did bounce back well. There were about 5 wickets down for 20 runs. And the way Asif Ali and Iftikhar stabilized the innings, not just stabilized it, but made sure that United reached the target that they desired in a handsome fashion, really playing aggressive cricket, both of them sharing a 123-run stand between them. And of course, when it came to the bowling, Mohammad Musa picking up those crucial wickets made all the difference, with of course the captain Shahzad Khan getting amongst the wickets as well. In the second game, we had Multan Sultans up against Peshawar Zalmi, and I think Multan have really made a strong comeback since the PSL has resumed. They were second last on the points table, but now they're slowly, gradually making it a game by game, as we said. They defeated Karachi Kings, and then now they've defeated Peshawar Zalmi by 8 wickets. It was Mohammad Rizwan with a spectacular performance and Shah Nawaz Dhani who picked up those crucial 4 wickets as well. We'll be talking all about the PSL in the second segment. We'll be moving on to tennis, and it will be Novak Djokovic who has been crowned the French Open champion after he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas in a thriller. I think this was the best final you could hope for tennis. He's also now the third one in history, I think, if I'm not wrong, who's won all Grand Slams on double occasions, twice that is. But a very interesting final. Tsitsipas, really, our heart goes out to him, played really well, taking it to a 5-set thriller to a champion that Djokovic is, was something big at heart for Tsitsipas, and he's got a great future ahead. Time now to introduce our guests in studios. We're going to be talking about cricket first. It's the PSL. We've been joined, first of all, by former Test cricketer, ICC match referee, and also part of the PCB's management, and now the domestic cricket structure as well. I get to learn a lot from him, and we always have these great discussions when it comes to cricket. None other than Colonel Naushad Ali. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa assalam.
Sir, how are you?
Fine, thank you very much.
Good to have you on the show. We also have been joined by cricket expert, a very keen expert on the game, and really will have a lot to say about the PSL. Lovely to share fun facts with him as well, none other than Ali Abbas. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Mashallah, Ahmad, how are you?
I'm very good, good to have you on the show. Sir, first of all, I think the game between Islamabad United and Lahore Qalandars, Lahore has really improved as a side. But after this game, you know, fans are fearing that they might choke again.
If you go back to 3 years or 4 years back, when the tournament started, people were expecting Lahore to do extremely well and become the champion, but they were not. For the first few years, they were almost out of the tournament. And yesterday's performance, at least to me, reminds the same performance again. I mean, they were pretty sure that they will win the match, and as you rightly said, they made a mess of it, and really made a mess of it. I mean, the scoring just 157 runs on a pitch, which can give you easily 200 runs if you play with the planning, and getting out 124, not Lahore's performance, and the way they are playing these days today. Well, I think it has opened also a venue for all other teams. They are at par with each other. The tournament is going to be a good, thrilling tournament coming up, and I'm pretty sure that the few matches in the coming up, Lahore Qalandars should do well.
Should do well indeed. Ali Abbas, United, we're talking about Lahore of course, but Islamabad United have found a strange momentum, and this is, whenever you find a momentum like this in T20 cricket, it can really lift you up as a side. The same thing happened with Pakistan, the T20 World Cup when they won in England. The same thing happened again with Pakistan when they won the Champions Trophy. So it's a kind of momentum that's really pushing Shadab and his troops towards the victory.
I know, and I think if there's anyone who needed a break, it was Shadab Khan and maybe Islamabad United as well, because they haven't been playing the most poor of cricket, but then they were not getting the results that they desired. And I think in a shorter format, having some sort of momentum is something which can push you through, because in T20 cricket, you do feel that maybe the first 7 to 8 overs sort of decide the game where it is going to go, and with the toss now playing such a crucial factor with T20 cricket. So it's good to see Islamabad United sort of making a comeback. I mean, we were discussing before the PSL that this would be Shadab Khan's test of him as a cricketer, his resolve as a cricketer, and they lost Hassan Ali. I mean, all the best to Hassan Ali. He left because of some family conditions, but I think it's really good on Shadab Khan the way he has brought the team back, and I really want to see Islamabad United go through in the top 4 because I think they're going to make a real case for it. And with Lahore Qalandars, sort of just fluctuating, and Multan Sultan coming back as well, and Karachi Kings, now level on points on the 4th spot, is going to be really exciting. So I think Islamabad United is one to watch out for. And Shadab Khan, I think he is going to make a serious statement to come back for the T20 World Cup.
Very true. I think his captaincy and his bowling have both really been top notch. Sir, very technical question now. As the PSL started in Abu Dhabi, we saw 130, 134. But the past couple of games, sir, we've seen targets being exceeded 150. Does that mean that the wicket has changed, or do you think that the sides are now more comfortable with the wicket now? They've adjusted to the wicket.
But traditionally, you see, I mean, I have seen so many matches we played there. Even the test matches when they are played there, so many high-scoring results were there. And I still remember Pakistan scored 500 runs in about 1.5 days against Sri Lanka on the same ground. So it's a high scoring ground, no doubt. But after some time, when there were so many matches we played, there could be effect on the pitches as well, and the timings as well, weather as well. I mean, this is a pretty hard time for the cricket in Abu Dhabi. You can't play in the afternoon, but they are rightly playing in the evenings. But evening temperature is about 40, 45.
And then dew factor also.
Dew factor coming up. So, and Abu Dhabi, I think, is more affected with the dew factor as compared to Dubai or even Sharjah. So I think that makes the batting little bit easier as compared to before, and that's why you see that they could have scored 140, 145, 160, and yesterday, as you said, 160 became difficult for the Lahore, and they lost the match.
Sir, sides bowling first have been able to extract some swing as well, but while sides bowling second have not been able to generate that swing that was required.
You see what the difference is, dew or no dew. If there is dew, it's difficult to grip the ball. When you don't grip the ball, you can't roll your fingers. When you cannot roll your finger, it will not take turn. It will be flat. And batsman who has played with the dew condition and they have the experience of playing in the dew condition, they are pretty sure that where the ball will pitch and what height it will come. They are mentally prepared for it. Like a left arm leg spinner, if he is coming in, it will not go this way. It will come into the batsman. So the cover drive and making a gap, space for the cover shot is very, very easy for that. That's what is the advantage for playing in the dew and batting first. Batting first, of course, will be a little bit difficult because the ball moves. Sometimes the bowler is pretty sharp, then he can move both ways, and that makes the batsman difficult. But bowling in the dew and coming into the batsman is very, very easy for the batsman to play.
Very easy indeed. Ali Abbas, very strange things happening. You know, when you see James Faulkner at this age swinging the ball bananas against Islamabad, and they were, like I said, about 4 or 5 down on 20 runs, and then making a comeback. So it's a bit strange now, but it's the requirement of the game that the sides now have to adjust with not just the conditions, the amount of swing, dew factors, and also the fact that certain players are, due to injury or personal reasons, are leaving.
I know. I feel that maybe the squads that have been put together, I think the factor that Abu Dhabi or the UAE players was not really put into consideration. I think maybe the teams missed that out recently as well when they were picking the squad, in which maybe they were not considering the bubble fatigue. I do get it that obviously once you're having PSL in the circumstances, you cannot exactly have a lot of players that you can choose from. But I do feel that certain teams might have managed their squads or picked their players a lot better. But with that being said, we do understand the strange circumstances that we are living in. Yes, I mean, I think James Faulkner couldn't swing the ball at Perth if we had to, but he's swinging it over here, so that's pretty strange. I mean, he was a great all-rounder at his peak. So yeah, with that being said, the toss players a really crucial factor. Now you were mentioning Nawaz Dahani, his story, and similarly to him, I mean, he was bowling first, his team were bowling first, so because of that maybe he was able to extract some pace, extract some swing. He might not have been able to do that in the second inning. So I think winning the toss and bowling first has been really crucial in this PSL, as it was in Pakistan as well. So I hope the teams sort of put that into consideration as well, and maybe not batting first and taking the safe option.
Definitely.
It's not something they should be doing.
I think to the credit of Lahore Qalandars that I'll ask Sir Naushad to talk about is that they've been able to bring the best recognized players internationally, and their youngsters have been groomed with them as well. That is very important, sir, because if we talk about their player development program that Lahore Qalandars have, they have a fantastic high performance center. Their program is absolutely terrific. They've been able to extract not just local talent, but also give them experience of playing with big names like Chris Gale, Rashid Khan, Chris Lynn, and now James Faulkner?
Well, this goes to the credit of Lahore Qalandars. I mean, it's not now. Even when they were not so performing so well, they were doing all this what we have said. And their high performance strategy, yes, I have also seen that. I mean, it is a pretty technical thing that they have spent money and then they spend the effort as well. Their director, Akif Javed, and the other fellow, they all is working very, very hard and going into the remote part of the country to pick up the talent. And a few examples are already before you. But I think they are doing a good job, and I feel that the other franchise should also follow the same, because in that way not only their own team will come up, but the talent in their area will also come up, and that will help the Pakistan cricket as well.
And talking about helping Pakistan cricket, sir, two names that really look like a good future from Islamabad United, Akif Javed and Mohammad Wasim Jr. Both of them have been great finds this season.
I think Mohammad Wasim Jr., I mean, it is just a raw. I mean, he's hardly about 17 or 18.
Yes,
I mean, but every day he is improving, and I'm pretty sure that if he is keep on doing this and with the more effort from the coaches, he will be at the top within no time. And so on goes to Atif Javed as well.
He can bat as well, this Wasim Jr. He played that ramp shot, remember, of a very quick delivery on Haris Rauf, hit a 6.
Yeah.
So that means he has the confidence, and if maybe PCB works on him, he can go a long way.
I think PCB should be taking him under their umbrella, because he is a rare talent, and the thing that we have to do, which we have not been maybe able to do in the past, if we take the examples of Umar Akmal or Ahmad Shahzad, is we have let our talent sort of go to waste. So maybe that is something we should work upon in terms of just grooming the players and making sure that they do manage to keep their goals in sight. So he has the talent, but it's important to make him know that exactly what he has to do to get to where he can be. Like, I mean, his potential is endless, right? And that he is maybe the first person who should be critical of himself. So I hope he does not let the PSL get to his head. And I see Heather really struggling as well, and I do not see much wrong with his attitude. I just think that things are not going his way because he's a certain type of batsman. We've changed his batting order around a lot. So I think in terms of that, we should be sort of giving these players room to grow as well, but then keeping a check and just letting them know that exactly where they can be if they do the right things.
Right, definitely. Lahore did make a mess of it, but they've still got a pretty handsome chance of making it to the top 4. They're already there still, and definitely Islamabad has been giving them some tough competition. But like Sir Naushad said, that the PSL is very much open now. If you take Quetta Gladiators out of the equation, that's a bit of disappointment that we've seen this PSL. But coming to the second match, Peshawar Zalmi up against Multan Sultans, and Zalmi, who've got a terrific side, and the great start that they got by Shafin Rutherford was, I think, superb and made that target. But sir, it looks like that all the stars in the heaven and everything is all now, working towards Mohammad Rizwan's favor. A classic 81 as a captain. Everything is, mashallah, going in his favor right now.
I think it's more than now 2 years. Rizwan is a different player. Initially, people were criticizing him for playing not very fast, not converting into 2s into 3s or 3s into 4s.
They said he couldn't clear the circle.
Yeah. But now I see, I mean, if you go back, it has got some sort of resemblance with Javed Miazad. I mean, the way he pushes into the gap and then he plays a full shot with the swing coming up all the way, finishing here, then I think he has learned a lot. I mean, he's a great form, great fitness, and of course, if you see the wicket keeping, it is what is required for the one-day cricket, that is there. But I'll say, as a captain, when Rizwan was made captain of the Multan's fortunes have changed.
So you've worked with him very closely.
Yeah.
So what has changed? What do you think has been the key element where he's changed?
Well, I think I know him personally well. I mean, he is a religious-minded individual, a very simple person, wants to live peacefully with others, and listens to what you tell him. But on the other hand, he's a hard-working, he's a conscious man. And he was very much disappointed when he was not performing well. But gradually he came into back. He has got all the cricket in him. He has got all the cricketing blood in him as well. But somehow or the other he wasn't performing. The day he has worked on it, and the day he has worked on his fitness, you see, he must have lost quite a few kilograms, I'm pretty sure. That and after that, touring with the Pakistan A team twice, once in Bangladesh, then again in Sri Lanka, as a captain and doing very well, that taught him a lot to fight back. And now he is one of the backbone of the Multan cricket.
Yes, and Pakistan. Ali Abbas, would you agree that the fighting spirit that we see in Rizwan is exemplary? And like others, he has not done what others have. What he's done is, unlike others, what he's done is that he's not taken his failures and let them, overburden him. But he's actually realized those mistakes and worked on them.
And he's also not believed his own hype.
Yeah.
We've seen players believing their own hype. He's performing and his next goal is bigger than the one that he had set for himself previously. So the thing that I really like about him, I have not seen a Pakistani wicketkeeper in a long time, and I'm sure you might have your opinion on it, be as good as Rizwan is in all three formats. In T20 format, he's probably your best batsman in the moment. In one days as well, he's doing a good job. And in Test cricket as well, in conditions that we played in England and in New Zealand, I mean, what more do you want from him? And I think Sir rightly mentioned that he is a really dedicated individual, and he has a sense of responsibility. And even when he came back in 2015 after we had a shambolic World Cup and Mohammad Rizwan was included in the side, there was a lot of hype around him. People were like, he's this new guy, he's going to do well and all. But I think the PCB maybe should have invested him in a lot more, because he was a talent that we could have worked upon. But the thing is, he still has a few good years left in him in terms of Test, ODI and T20 cricket. And the fact is, he has his mindset, he has his vision straight, and with that I think he's going to contribute for Pakistan a lot more. Multan Sultans, yes, their fortunes have changed, but I do believe that Pakistan's fortunes have also changed going into the T20 World Cup and the ODI World Cup coming in the future, because they have a solid wicketkeeper batsman now who is performing well with the bat as well as he is doing with the gloves,
one thing is
and
for
really
sure,
fit as well.
Yes, one thing is for sure, that his case as an opener, I think that's closed now. Nobody is going to take him away from that position, because that is what suits him and he's performing on the day. But he's not the only one that Multan have managed to, put to the limelight. I also want to talk, and because Sir Naushad is here, who's had a lot of experience working with Pakistani youngsters and seeing them groom themselves, another new talent that has come all the way from Ladkhana, and that is Nawaz Dhani, sir.
Yeah, it looks to be a born fast bowler. I mean, it's a round arm action, big steps, and then a beautiful follow through. And once he finishes, I mean, he is halfway down the pitch. That's all natural. I mean, I'm pretty sure that coaches must have contributed a lot, but the way he looks like, he is a natural fast bowler. I mean, the way he bends at the end, and then the more the bounce is there, and sometimes it comes from the good length spot as well. So I think he should be preserved, he should be utilized carefully, and then he should be encouraged in all fields. I mean, he's a good fielder, and above all, he enjoys his cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, he is he looks to be such a boy, I mean, enjoying his game or enjoying his food. So I think he is a great find from a city like Ladkhana, and I'm sure that he will be a good example for the youngsters.
Sir, how important is it for the region as well, for Ladkhana in general, for seeing a superstar from Ladkhana performing? What does it do to the city, the region itself, when you see a player from there?
Well, that raises the morale of the other cricketers as well, morale of the management, morale of the organizers, because they feel proud that they have created something, they have produced somebody who's been popular and who's been performing well. Like we have in Asif Ali, this is the example of Islamabad. I mean, he's a natural cricketer, but somebody has to tell him that all shots are not sixes. There should be twos and ones as well. So that sort of thing should also be done for others also, like Dhani you mentioned. And I'm sure that it's a great achievement on the part of City Cricket Association if everybody produces one cricketer like this.
Like this. Ali Abbas, very important that the PSL has been giving us some stars for Pakistan cricket right now. Shadab Khan, Hassan Ali emerged from that scene. We also know other names like Fahim Ashraf and Haider Ali who've also come there. Haider, of course, not to his credit right now. He's not having some good PSLs.
I still have a lot of names.
But Dhani could be that other example that could be groomed into a permanent part of Pakistan squad.
I know, and I think that is what PSL is all about, just bringing in this young, raw talent and letting them express themselves for Pakistan. I was critical of Dhani when he was selected for the Pakistani team, because I totally agree with everything the sir said in terms of him enjoying his cricket. But I felt that maybe he had to prove a lot more before he got into the team. But the way he performed in the game that was played yesterday, I was really impressed by his attitude. And exactly, I think he has this attitude, this never say die attitude. You cannot keep him down for long. Even though his catch was dropped, he was getting hit for boundaries, but he came back and he took successive wickets off, I believe. believe, Kamran Akmal and Shoaib Malik. So that just shows the kind of character that the boy has, and I hope he just carries on the same way. We were talking about Mohammad Wasim Jr. as well, and players like him and Dahani having the sort of mentors, like he mentioned that he looks up to Carlos Brathwaite a lot. So Carlos Brathwaite is someone as well, who sort of had to work his way up to that moment in which his name was one that we had to remember for a long time. Not saying that Carlos Brathwaite's
especially
career, Ben Stokes. So I mean, that is the kind of examples when you're sharing dressing rooms with top players like Carlos Brathwaite or even Mohammad Rizwan. So I mean, he has those examples to live up to, and he once again should not believe his own hype and just keep on working hard.
Sir, it's good to see that he's not limited himself only to T20 cricket, because he's played 8 first-class matches and he's picked 27 wickets at an economy of 3.68. List A matches 5 wickets for him there as well. So he's also focused on the real format of the game.
Well, he should be put under experienced fast bowler like say Waqar Yunus or even Wasim Akram, and then he should be taught to bowl long spells. Long spells, I mean 8 overs in a row, not 4 overs like in a short version.
T20, yes.
8 overs in a row. If he's been taught on that, and then there are quite a few techniques on that. I mean, you got to take rest. You have not to ban somebody comes and pick up the ball and give it to him. This all mannerism, if he's been taught all that, I'm pretty sure that he can be a good starter for the Test cricket as well.
For good start for Test cricket, definitely, because Dhani is probably the sensation of the PSL, and with that 4 wickets that he's taken, he's now also the leading wicket taker of HBL's PSL 6th edition. That's what it's called. Now he's now the leading wicket taker in this, and now obviously he's got a great tournament ahead of him, and if Multan do make it to the top 4 and definitely towards the final or the playoffs, then he's got a great chance of being named as the bowler of the tournament as well, and that would definitely change his fortunes. Coming now to the game that is taking place tonight at 9 p.m. You're going to catch all the action on PTV Sports. It is Karachi Kings against Islamabad United. Islamabad definitely coming on the back of the victory, but Karachi, defending champions Ali Abbas, have not won a game up till now.
I know, and it's like the clash of two teams who are having totally different fortunes. And I'm excited, seeing Ahmad Wasim and Shadab Khan going head-to-head, 2 all-rounders. Both of them expected to be a part of the Pakistani team. Both of them not in the Pakistani team. Both of them have one spot that they're fighting for. So that is like we have with Sarfaraz and Rizwan. Just sort of a rivalry that, just gets you a little bit excited. So I personally feel that Islamabad United are going to win because they have the momentum, and Karachi Kings, I sort of feel that with Babar Azam, not firing the way they want him to, I think that they have some issues in the camp. Not some serious issues, but they have to maybe get their order or the combinations a little bit more perfect. But with Islamabad United, they're in the sort of momentum that anything that comes in front of them, they're just going to outclass the other team. Like you mentioned, the Pakistan did in the Champions Trophy as well as the ODI World Cup. So I do feel that Islamabad United are going to win, but then again, it's going to be really exciting. And that's a game which I feel is going to be the game of the PSL up till now.
So definitely,
the restarted PSL.
For me, it's very, very tough being a Karachi fan right now, that the way we've started our campaign has not been what we wanted. Lost to Multan, and now we've got a chance to redeem ourselves. Sir, so much firepower and combinations there. But I think where majority Karachi suffered in that game against Multan was first their batting lineup failed, but so much hype about Mohammad Amir, who's going to make a comeback, but his economy rate was absolutely not there, sir.
Well, Karachi had a good momentum. I mean, when they were playing in Karachi, and the PSL was played in Karachi, I mean, they were pretty up. But the way there's a gap came in and they shifted to Abu Dhabi, there is a difference there. I mean, they look a different team. They are not the same team which was playing in Karachi. Maybe because of 1 or 2 players missing, and maybe because of the change of playing conditions now in Abu Dhabi. But certainly Karachi has got the firepower. Karachi has got the good captain. Ahmad Wasim is an intelligent
Street
captain.
smart cricketer.
And so is the Islamabad captain as well. He is young, but he's a fighting captain. So I think it should be a good match, and Karachi should come back to his form. If they come into the form, it makes a good match. That will be for everybody and PSL. Anything for
Sir,
the future.
You gave a cheeky smile on Mohammad Amir. Does that mean that the overhyped thing has to stop and Karachi have to look towards other options as well now?
Well, I think Mohammad Amir, I mean, I know him when he was playing the under-19. I mean, he selected him. He was bowling 145-50 without any effort. I mean, just bowling straight, and it used to be 145-50. He went as an under-19 player, he topped the averages, and from that day, he hasn't looked back. I mean, he's improving and improving. After even a gap because of something, still he has got the force in him. But now, gradually, his downfall is coming.
Has come, definitely. Very, very disappointing there as well, but we all know that he can change the game any day he wants, and it's all up to him. Very quickly, Ali Abbas, Karachi or Islamabad tonight?
I'm going to say Islamabad because just to make you feel a little bad.
Yeah, I know. Sir, Karachi, Islamabad. Who do you think has the better hand?
Well, I think those are balancing. Those wants to win, but should be a good match rather than the result.
Rather than the result, definitely. Karan Saab, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Abbas, always a pleasure having you. We're just going to go towards a short break, but when we come back, we're going to be discussing the French Open, Roland Garros, and the new champion that has been crowned right after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sports Extra with me, Ahmad. Nawaz. Time now to discuss Roland Garros tennis, the French Open, and it's Novak Djokovic who has defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas in a thrilling final, the most high-intensity final that absolutely shook everyone, continued for 4.5 hours, and then it was Novak Djokovic who eventually got the better, the Serb being the Serb, his stamina overpowering the young Tsitsipas. And of course, on the women's side, it was Barbara Krejcikova who completed her maiden Grand Slam title as well. To discuss all of this and tennis in detail, we've been joined in studios by sports expert, none other than the great person, a superstar that he is, Mr. Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm very well, Ahmad.
Right, first of all, I have to talk about the men's side because this is the most thrilling final I've seen. Really wanted to see Tsitsipas getting the better of Djokovic, the youngster that he is, the next-gen tennis player. But the Serb's the Serb.
The Serb is the Serb. And Ali, Ahmad, did you know that this is the first time in 19 years that at the French Open, the men's final actually went to 5 sets. So it's about time that we actually saw a competitive final which went till the last point, and it was a very compelling final. I mean, it was a final of two halves, Ahmad. First two halves were dominated by Tsitsipas. He was a more aggressive player, taking the clutch points. But after the third set, he just completely lost his wind. Djokovic, the experience we know, we saw it in the past few, so we saw it in the quarterfinal, we saw it in the semi-final. You can never count him out until you have slayed the beast. And unfortunately for Tsitsipas, he could not get the job done because Djokovic is that sort of a player. He plays every point as if his life depends on it.
I mean, look, if I just read out these records that I have in front of me, Ali Mehdi, that, Novak Djokovic, the second trophy at Roland Garros, he has now moved into one major championship away from equaling the men's record of 20 Grand Slams by Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. It also puts reigning Australian Open champion Djokovic halfway to a calendar year Grand Slam, something no man has accomplished since Rod Laver in 1969. The 34-year-old is also the first man to win all 4 Grand Slams since 1969 on multiple occasions, and just the third in history. And, so many records, and he's also nearing the prize money of $150 million. So that tells a lot about Djokovic that has not been talked about much in tennis.
That's the thing with Djokovic. Djokovic, is the sort of person that he's not given the sort of credit, let's be honest, as much as it's due. I mean, you talk about the Roger Federer, the Rafael Nadal. I mean, Djokovic, he's the most successful player. I mean, one of the greatest players. In the past 10 years, he's won about 75% of the Grand Slams. I mean, it's amazing his trajectory after looking at the dominance of Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. All these records which you just spoke about, it's not due to sheer luck. It's because of hard work, commitment, and desire, and that's exactly what he did. Winning all Grand Slams out of all these records you spoke of, winning all Grand Slams twice is a remarkable achievement. No, Roger Federer hasn't done it. Rafael Nadal hasn't done it. Pete Sampras, all these greats you talk about haven't done it. It's the first time since 1970. So Novak Djokovic, really, when you talk about the GOAT debate, then unfortunately, being a Federer fan, I'd have to say that Novak Djokovic is probably right up there.
Ali Mehdi, we knew it that the day he defeated Nadal in a semi-final in the French Open, the court which he loves, it was his tournament. But the fact is, you think Tsitsipas maybe misread the situation. Instead of playing power tennis, he needed a bit more strategy, a bit more smart tennis at this stage.
And that's where Novak Djokovic took full advantage. Novak Djokovic is a seasoned professional. He's been playing professional tennis for about 17 years. That's where experience came into play, and inexperience actually went against Tsitsipas. Look, Tsitsipas gave absolutely everything in the first 2 sets. If it was a 3-set match, he would have won the match fair and square, and that's why he's been so successful winning the World Tour finals. But look, after the second set, he lost that wind. I mean, you see, he was taking a medical timeout. We just didn't know what was happening. He himself didn't know what was happening. I mean, third and fourth set, it was a completely different person. That's where Novak Djokovic actually, went against his prey. He actually attacked his prey, and that's where, Tsitsipas, had he been more strategized in the first 2 sets, had he been a bit more fit, I think he should have won.
Almost as if Djokovic wanted to lose those first 2 sets, tire him down and then take him as he did to Nadal.
No, and not only that, that's what he did against Nadal and what he did against Musetti. Let's not forget, in the Musetti, he was 2 sets down, and then what happened to Musetti, the youngster? He ran out of gas. He had to retire the 5th set too. So Novak Djokovic knows that he's a slow starter, he's a slow burner, but it's not like Ahmad, he has a plan A. Of winning in straight sets. He has a B, C, D, E, F, and that's what you need. And Novak Djokovic knows that if the opponent is going to win the first 2 sets, the first set if it's a 3-setter, then he knows that he's going to tire the opponent out, and then he's going to attack his prey in the remaining matches.
I still remember he was playing a lot of power tennis when he first came onto the scene. But one thing that I saw in this final was that he had a bit more variety to his shots. He was playing the drop shot very well, adding a bit of spin on the ball, making sure that Tsitsipas comes very close to the net and then smashing the ball behind him, making him run all over the place. You think that has been the big difference in his game now, that he's come up with a lot more variety when it comes to shots?
Not only variety, I think variety is very important. I think he never was very good with the drop shot, but very good. He's good at the net too, but the most important thing is the clutch points. I think he's the best clutch player, even better than Federer and Nadal for that matter. Look, when the chips are down against him, he always finds a way. We remember what he did against Federer in 2019. In 2011, 2010, he saved match points against Roger Federer. He's done it against Rafael Nadal in the past. He just doesn't know how to lose. And that's what's actually helped him. The variety along with that mental strength, that's what actually helped him get over the line yesterday.
Definitely that is the case. But nonetheless, you can't take anything away from Tsitsipas. And Ali Mehdi, for too long now, he's been in this position to win Grand Slams, and he's lost in the semi-finals or the finals. We all know that he's the next big thing in tennis. All he's got to do now is learn from these silly mistakes to make sure. That's why the 3 greatest are the 3 greatest for a reason.
Look, you talk about this young generation which has come. Unfortunately, this is the worst young generation we've seen in such a long time. Why do I say that? No disrespect to them. Ahmad, these three have dominated tennis for 15 years now. They won about 85% of all the Grand Slams, 85 to 90%. That's unbelievable in the past 15 years, these 3. And the others are like the Murrays, and Wawrinka's taken a few, and then the team last year, Cilic before, and then also team last year too. So this was a great opportunity for Tsitsipas. But look, Ahmad, the reason for Tsitsipas is that Tsitsipas still has to work on his mental toughness. He has to work on his fitness. He has the game. He plays extremely well. He can compete against the big boys, but the problem is that he cannot finish the match. He starts very well, but he can't finish it. He did the same in Rome against Djokovic.
I mean, your argument about energy is all clear in front of me, because I have the stats of the match, and they clearly state that straightforwardly, Tsitsipas had 14 aces. So that just tells you how much steam he was putting in. 4 double faults, 61% of the first serve, even though he had 14 aces. It was 68% for Djokovic in the first serve, and win on first serve was again to Djokovic, 78% to 67%.
Not only that, Djokovic wasn't serving well yesterday. He served about 4-5 double faults yesterday. So Djokovic was not on his prime game. Djokovic of 2011 probably would have, of 2016 when he won, he would have thrashed Tsitsipas. But this was a golden opportunity, Ahmad, for Tsitsipas. You're talking about a 22-year-old against a 34-year-old reaching the twilight of his career. If he cannot take advantage right now, then it's going to be very difficult. Tsitsipas has to go back to the drawing board, has to work on his mental toughness, work on the human psychology, and work on his fitness. Because if he gets fixes these 2 elements, he's a future world #1.
Ali Mehdi, Roland Garros is done and dusted now. Djokovic is the champion. Nadal couldn't make it. He was eyeing for that record Grand Slam victory, couldn't do it. Federer had to quit in between due to medical reasons. He doesn't want to put more stress on that operated knee that he has. What are we seeing next in tennis, and where are these 3 players, including the youngsters, going on?
Very good question, Ahmad. We now are going to the grass court season. Now, look, Wimbledon is about 2 weeks away. Normally, it's 3 weeks, but there's a very quick turnover, due to which you have the two 500 events. Queen's happening this week, Noventi opening. Murray is actually back playing. Roger Federer is playing the Noventi, which is actually a lead-up tournament to Wimbledon. Now, we switch over quickly onto the grass. The latest update is that there's a good chance that Rafael Nadal actually won't play Wimbledon because the turnover is very quick, and he doesn't want to. He actually has an slight ankle issue, which he's been playing with a lot of pain. So he doesn't want to actually risk that. On the other side, Djokovic is exhausted. He's played about 20 sets over the past few days. I mean, he hasn't won a straight sets match in such a long time. So he's probably going to go for a rest. The one person who will be eyeing the big prize, he's 39 going on to 40, but he's the greatest on grass, is Roger Federer. You know, right now he's playing the Noventi. He himself said in a press conference that he's leading up very well. If his knees don't give him trouble, he has a very good shot against that. Other than that, you know, you have the youngsters too, the likes of Medvedev, who doesn't like grass. Zverev is there, he's okay on grass too. Thiem, he's horrible on grass. The thing over here is we're talking about the grass, and when it comes to grass, I can't see anybody other than Roger Federer or Novak Djokovic. The reason is, Ahmed, is because Wimbledon is a very special surface, and unless you have good experience or you move very well, you're not going to win it. And that's why I feel that you cannot count out the big three, especially Djokovic and Federer.
Never count out the big three, indeed. Now moving on to the women's side of as well, a maiden French Open championship and a new champion.
No, very happy for. It's the first time since 1981 when Martina Navratilova won the French Open that a Czech lady has actually won the Roland Garros, and what a story it was. I mean, Krajcikova, nobody even knew about her. I was following her because she's a doubles player, and also coincidentally she won the doubles title. First time that a woman has actually won the doubles title
and the singles
at Roland Garros. I believe Serena did it a few years ago, but I mean, it was a marvelous achievement. A very good final. Nobody called that. Pavlyuchenkova, the veteran, against Krajcikova. Very good match, you know, 3 sets, 6-1 she won the first set, then the next set she lost 6-2, but then 6-4 winning it. I mean, it was a game which it was to and fro, a lot of cat and mouse, you know, a lot of mistakes. But I'd have to say that it was a very good counter punching by Krajcikova. She took her breakpoint opportunities, and above all, she served very well, actually, which helped her win her maiden Grand Slam title.
Definitely, that is the case as well. But obviously, it's good for the sport whenever we say that we've got a new champion. And definitely, you know, we were banking a lot on Swiatek, the defending champion, got knocked out.
Sakkari.
So Maria Sakkari couldn't make it. Serena Williams lost. Naomi Osaka had to pull out. So a lot of things were happening on the women. There's a bit controversial going on.
Yeah, the women's side, there was a lot happening, and there was a lot of hustle and bustle, Ahmad, and you know, things which you don't want to talk about. I mean, you talk about that. Then Ash Barty went early. My favorite player, Simona Halep, couldn't play because of a horrible injury, which actually puts her Wimbledon title at
jeopardy as well.
Jeopardy too.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you know, when you were looking into this event, you knew that there was going to be a new champion. And the thing about Roland Garros in women is that since 2016, you've had some 6 first-time winners when it comes to Grand Slam, ranging from 2016 to 2021. So whenever you talk about Roland Garros on the women's side, you always have a new champion, and that's why it's so much exciting seeing it on that side.
What do you make of it now going on to the Wimbledon as well? Osaka has her own problems, not facing the media and whatever, suspension. Doesn't seem to be wanting to come onto the big stage. I fear her tennis might be over. Serena Williams is going to be hungry because she didn't expect to lose like this in the French Open, and all the big female names coming back to power tennis.
This is why women's tennis is so exciting, Ahmed. It is so unpredictable. You look at the past Grand Slam over the past 2-3 years, you don't have a single champion who's actually defended their title or actually has won one Grand Slam and won the next one too. It's so difficult to call right now. But if you talk about the usual suspects, Ahmed, Serena Williams, you can never count her out. She's won this tournament about 8 times. She loves this tournament. She plays extremely well over here. At the same time, we have to wait and see Simona Halep. I don't think she's going to play because of that horrific injury. Then the usual, you have Svitolina is over there, Sofia Kenin is over there. I would have said Osaka has a chance, but Osaka is horrible when it comes to grass and clay. She's a hardcourt specialist where she's the favorite all the time. Ash Barty is over there. But I'd have to say that, you know, if you look at that, then probably Svitolina has a very good chance over there. Then world number 1, Ash Barty too. It's going to be very difficult to call, but I just think that other than the top 10, 20 seats, you could have a wild card who could or a qualifier who could actually win it.
Well, how long people still want to ask, and this is, I think, the most asked question when it comes to female tennis, is Serena Williams going to hang in there? That's probably the biggest question I get from tennis fans.
Let me tell you, until she doesn't win that 24th Grand Slam, she's not going to retire. Even if she has to go play till 50, she will. Because she knows that still the women's side is still very unpredictable. On her day, she can beat anybody. But
she's not going to take this French loss easy, is she?
She's not going to take it. She had a golden opportunity, but out of the blue, she lost again. The problem with Serena Williams is that mental toughness and that consistency. She just can't get over the hurdle. Ahmad, she made the final in 2018 and 2019, and then she made another couple of finals. She needs to get over the line, and show that mental toughness. She can win that Grand Slam, 24th Grand Slam, and then retire with ease.
Right, definitely. Ali Mehdi, thank you so much for being on the show. Always great having you for whatever sport we throw at you. You come out the Grand Slam champion.
Thank you.
As always, we're going to leave it at that, but not before we've got some two very special wishes to send out. First of all, we've got a very, very special wish of a birthday wish, a very happy birthday to Miss Sarish Batul, who is there as a Pakistani cricketer. May you keep on shining, enjoy your day, and lots of prayers and success coming your way. We also have a very, very special wish for a very young fan that is out there, Syed Mohammad Sherazi, who has achieved a big milestone, I must say, in his life. And for that milestone, I think we send a lot of love, a lot of prayers, and definitely a lot of parties coming your way as well, definitely. So congratulations to Syed Mohammad Sherazi on achieving this milestone, and we hope that you have more success, inshallah, coming your way. We're going to leave it at that from me and the entire team. Catch us once again tomorrow. It's goodbye for now.